Welcome back to question 3. Do you like to lend things to others? Do you like to lend things to others?
Lend things to
Lend things
others.
is to give things to somebody temporarily. So,
Mm,
for example, if you have a lot of comic books and you like to lend them to your friends because it makes your friends happy, they get to read a comic book, or maybe you don't like to lend things. So the question is, do you like to lend things to others?
yeah, I think I do. Why not? Because like if we have like a book or something like paper or even money, I think, but a little bit, I can lend things to others, and I do it a lot. Like sometimes I see that my younger brother like doesn't have this thing, and I will lend him. And if my friends don't have like a a pencil, a pen, or something to study, I will lend them
Right.
with no thinking.
Good, good. Um, I I generally don't like to lend things to people. I prefer to give them to somebody because if I have an expectation of getting it back, it can sour a friendship. Um, and sometimes when somebody is really in need, if I'm in a position that I can help them, I would rather give it to them as a gift. And I we use an expression in English to pay it forward. And what pay it forward means is, let's say that somebody came to me and said, "Oh, I'm in a tight. I have a problem. My washing machine broke, and I need help buying a new washing machine, and I need like $30 more, and I can buy the machine." So if I'm in a good financial position at that time, I'll say, here's a gift. Here's $30 to buy your washing machine. Pay it forward, meaning in the future, when you're in a position financially to help somebody, instead of giving me the money back, you give the money to somebody else. So it's an idea that that way I don't have to worry about getting the money back. And now they sort of have an obligation because I'm saying pay it forward. They have an obligation in the future to help somebody else, like I helped them,
Yeah.
which is it's a very nice concept. Um, I think it rings true with a lot of like Buddha's philosophy, somewhat karma and things like that. That there's this idea of paying it forward instead of giving me the money back, helping somebody else in the future. Um, it kind of keeps things going in a way that is helping others down the road. Okay.
Yes.
So my money sort of helps not just him, but it ultimately helps somebody else too. Right. So I can feel better about giving it as opposed to lending it. So their answer here is I would say so. To be honest, I'm always skeptical. And we learned that word the other day,
Skeptical.
suspicious, when I lend money to people because I'm afraid they won't pay me back. But I do it for family members and friends when they need it anyway. Fortunately, I have friends and family that will willingly do the same for me. So, in other words, she'll lend it to them, and in other times of need, they'll lend it, her money too. But that means that they all pay each other back. It's a great way to get rid of somebody you don't like is to lend them money. Say, there are certain types of people who never pay back money. And if you know that about them and you don't really like them and you don't really like them being around you, right? The next time they ask to borrow money, even though you usually say, no, no, man, I don't lend any money to anyone. If you want to get rid of them, lend them money and they will avoid seeing you because you
Oh.
back. So I actually learned, yeah, I learned that lesson from a guy that owned a restaurant, and he owned a restaurant in the building that I lived in, and I used to eat there a lot, like maybe 5 times a week or 6 times a week. I would eat meals, maybe even more actually, because I would sometimes have breakfast there and then I would have dinner. He was a great cook. He had a big menu. Plus, he was Iranian and their food is delicious. And his mother used to cook dinners and of Iranian food. And he didn't sell it on the menu, but he would give it to people that he ate there a lot that he liked, right? We could buy it like as if it was a meal, but it was not on the menu. And he was just a really, really great guy. There was another person that lived in the neighborhood who was what we call a bum, like, somebody who couldn't hold the job down, had some problems, whatever. He was a problem person, and he used to come pretty much every day and ask people for money. He would like ask everybody that was sitting at the restaurant for money. And one night, after about a week of him doing this, the owner of the restaurant said, hey, come here, come here. And he lent him, right, he gave him $20. And yeah, and the guy was like, oh, okay, I'll be back tomorrow to pay you back. And he left. And I said, man, why did you give him money? Nobody ever, he never pays anybody back. He said, yeah, except he won't come back here for months now. He won't come back because he knows that he owes me money. So now he won't come back to the restaurant for months. He'll be gone. And eventually he'll show back up and maybe he'll have the money, right? Or he'll show back up and be like, oh man, I'm sorry, I forgot. But it'll take months before he comes back. So he goes, it's the best $20 I spent today. That's what he said to me. The best $20 I spent today was giving it to this guy so that he doesn't come in anymore and bother my customers. Because he would come in and like ask everybody in the restaurant for money. And he knew that he would be gone. He would disappear and he wouldn't come back for a long time. And he was right. We didn't see him again. Yeah, we didn't see him again for like 3 months. And that time he did. He came back with the $20, right? And he gave it to the guy and he's like, okay, I paid you back now. And then he went around the restaurant asking people to borrow money again. So the guy gave him the $20 right back again and he was gone. It was like I swear it was the funniest thing in the world because it was basically, it kept him away. So anyway, we're going to stop on that and go to question 4.